We've seen a lot of shifting of the narrative when it comes to Kirby Air Riders. At first, it couldn't possibly compete with Mario Kart. It was a disappointing release, and then it wouldn't be like a very good holiday game. And now we're kind of at this weird stage where there's this split in the audience, where there's people who want to downplay Kirby Air Riders and like say it isn't very good. And then you have like the other side of the audience that's trying to say it's way better than Mario Kart and that the Mario Kart team should be ashamed. Now, obviously, today we're focusing on like the haters. We're not talking about like Kirby Air Riders versus Mario Kart yet, because that is something I want to talk about in the future, and I'll be a bit more nuanced about the subject than a lot of people who are being way more hyperbolic. But right now, some of the coping I've seen about Air Riders has been delicious. It has been amazing seeing people try to downplay this game. Okay, I've seen all sorts of weird allegations about it, how it's not a real racing game, how Metroid Prime 4 is a way bigger release, how Kirby sucks. I've seen people complain about the original Kirby Air Ride. There's all of these things that are all just like blending together and just kind of falling apart before they can even take off. And I'm constantly seeing more copes being introduced. And now that the game is out, like I did catch wind of one that did kind of make me think a little bit because it was something that I kind of thought about myself. The achievement system, how well implemented is it? Like how many people are going to play this game and think to themselves, I'm going to unlock everything on the board. I'm doing that and I'm having a great time with it. But like, I think the vast majority of people would not. And I'm looking at the board. I'm going through it myself. It's been like 10 hours of just grinding through the achievement system. And I personally am having a blast. But there was this real like thought in my mind was that like, is this something that the general audience would enjoy? Yes, absolutely. Like my belief is that the achievement system in Kirby Air Riders is far beyond not only that of other games, like it's way better than any trophy or achievement system on PlayStation or Xbox. It's actually quite a bit better than Super Smash Bros. Ultimate because Super Smash Bros. Ultimate's achievement system is very lame and very poorly thought out, where you had like a bunch of derelict, boring tasks that just exist, and when you do them, you get some random spirit, and it's not interesting, it's not fun. There's nothing really to it. When you do Kirby Air Riders in comparison, what you get is this really fleshed out, engaging system that gives you a constant feedback back loop of new unlockables. So you start with like 4 characters and like 3 vehicles. And throughout your clearing of the achievement system, you start unlocking the game's numerous unlockables that extend far beyond just characters and vehicles. You do unlock new tracks, you do unlock new bits of music, you do unlock like decals and all this stuff. Like there is just so much to unpack in each and every one of these boards that it's kind of overwhelming, honestly. The fact of the matter is I've spent like all of my playtime trying to clear all these achievements, trying to unlock everything. So I have everything available before I start doing City Trial. And there's this like real clear value in this because of the way the game is set up. You don't see these things until you start unlocking them. So you're not going to see like a lot of the unlockable characters in races before you unlock them yourself. So what this means is as you play the game and engage with it in any way you want, when you start experiencing everything the game has to offer, when you play the game in any of its modes, any of its like 4 major modes, like you are going to be unlocking stuff near constantly. It is incredible just how well put together this is, how like all of these challenges feel reasonably challenging, how they do offer a really cool unlockable at the end, and how it encourages you to keep playing the same courses over and over and over again, trying to unlock more stuff. Anybody who's tuned into my streams over the past couple of days has seen me do this, where I sit there and like try to accomplish some challenge I'm struggling with, or like trying to like iron out how exactly I'm going to do it. Like it really gives you the ability to appreciate the game's nuances, because I think without this system, it would be very easy to write off Air Ride as some very shallow racing game that has no purpose to it, because you go along at the same speed all the time. Like it's very difficult to screw up. Like but there is like nuance to it. There is skill to this game. And the achievement system really does help emphasize all of those nuances and all the things you can do with all the different characters, and it's crazy when you look at this cast of characters, which first of all is a 10 out of 10, like I love every single member of this cast, but like when you look at like the cast of characters and really like start playing as them, you really start appreciating just how they handle differently. They have different abilities, they have different specials, different stats. Like all of them have wildly different experiences on each and every track, especially when you start like throwing in different vehicles into the mix as well. It's crazy how characters can radically change the way you play a track and the things you can do and the achievements you can unlock. And you're going to be encouraged to play as every single character as you go through the game. You're going to like find yourself getting attached to all sorts of weird little oddballs, guys like DeRoche, people like Susie, you have like, Magalor's in there, Taranza, you have all these weird characters from Kirby's history that just make playing this game feel like such a treat to hardcore Kirby fans. And it's all because of the achievement system. Like the achievement system is so well implemented. It is by itself going to give this game like dozens of hours of a replay value. Like I could like a lot of people I've seen have like made fun of the game's track selection, but in actuality, like all of these tracks have an insane amount of replay value because of this achievement system, because of all these things you can do in the game, because of the online play and like the local multiplayer and everything you can do. Like you are going to be playing this game forever. Okay. like the average person is never, ever going to see everything in Kirby Air Riders. But if you're the sort of person who is going to do everything like me, you are going to be insanely rewarded. And that's the thing that really strikes me about this game, playing it, is just how rewarding it is to just play it over and over and over again. In a lot of ways, it feels like an arcade racing game, as opposed to like, Mario Kart's more console-ish experience. Like it has that same vibe of like being easy to pick up and then like hard to master. Like it's just an insanely fun experience that I can't help but recommend to anybody who's even remotely interested in it. This game is an absolute banger, and it's something that really needs to be acknowledged going forward, that this is something that really should have been nominated for Game of the Year. Because I do think this, at the very least, this is better than Donkey Kong Bonanza. And it's probably on par with Mario Kart World. I hesitate to say it's better because there's a significant chunk of the game I haven't experienced yet, but we'll have to see how I feel about that later on down the line. But like, there's no denying that like Kirby Air Riders is an absolute phenomenal game and deserves your attention and respect.